Let's take the gloves off and speak the truth, Saba. This
Okay, you don't
time,
have to
you're
speak at
dealing
me.
with
We can
Brigitte
talk
Gabriel. You're
politely.
not dealing with somebody timid that you can manipulate and talk over. Not
I
this
don't need
time,
to,
Saba.
but
People
you're
like
seeing-
you need to be put in their place. This is America. We love our
put me
country
in
and
my
we will
place.
fight for our country
I
and
don't know
turn
who needs
from
to be put in
people
place.
exactly like you and expose
God.
people exactly like you.
Wow, Bridget.
Yes.
On June 16, 2014, an exchange between Brigitte Gabriel and a Muslim law student during a Heritage Foundation panel about Benghazi quickly went viral across America. What started as a question about peaceful Muslims turned into one of the most intense televised debates about radical Islam, political correctness, and accountability. The confrontation later continued on Sean Hannity. Watch this carefully.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace to you all. My name is Saba Ahmed. I'm a law student at American University. I am here to ask you a simple question. I know that we portray Islam and all Muslims as bad, but there's 1.8 billion Muslim followers of Islam. We have 8 million plus Muslim Americans in this country, and I don't see them represented here. But my question is, how can we fight an ideological war with weapons? How can we ever end this war? The jihadist ideology that you talk about, it's an ideology. How can you ever win this thing if you don't address it ideologically?
Great question. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad you brought that up because it gives us an opportunity to answer. What I find so amazing is since the beginning of this panel, which we are here about Benghazi attack against our people, not one person mentioned Muslims. We are here against Islam, or we're launching war against Muslims. We are here to discuss how 4 Americans died and what our government is doing. We were not here to bash Muslims. You were the one who brought up the issue about most Muslims, not us. And since you brought it up, allow me to elaborate with my answer. There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. Of course, not all of them are radicals. The majority of them are peaceful people. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25%, according to all intelligence services around the world. That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. That is as big of the United States. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre. When you look throughout history, when you look at all the lessons of history, most Germans were peaceful, yet the Nazis drove the agenda. And as a result, 60 million people died, almost 14 million in concentration camps, 6 million were Jews. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Russia, most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet the Russians were able to kill 20 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at China, for example, most Chinese were peaceful as well. Yet the Chinese were able to kill 70 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Japan prior to World War II, most Japanese were peaceful as well. Yet Japan was able to butcher its way across Southeast Asia, killing 12 million people, mostly killed with bayonets and shovels. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. On September 11th in the United States, we had 2.3 million Arab Muslims living in the United States. It took 19 hijackers, 19 radicals to bring America down to its knees, destroy the World Trade Center, attack the Pentagon, and kill almost 3,000 Americans that day. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. So for all our powers of reasons and us talking about moderate and peaceful Muslims, I'm glad you're here. But where are the others speaking out? Since you're the only Muslim representative in here, you took the limelight instead of speaking about why our government, and I assume, are you an American? You're an American citizen. So as an American citizen, you sat in this room and instead of standing up and saying a question or asking something about our 4 Americans that died and what our government is doing to correct the problem, stood there to make a point about peaceful, moderate Muslims. I wish you brought 10 with you to question about how we can hold our government responsible. It is time we take political correctness and throw it in the garbage where it belongs.
Hannity and a panel hosted by the Heritage Foundation on Monday that focused on the Benghazi scandal. Brigitte Gabriel got into a heated exchange with an audience member named Saba Ahmed. And joining me now to discuss that exchange in their first television interview since the panel is Islamic lobbyist Saba Ahmed, as well as Act for America's Brigitte Gabriel is with us. Saba, let me start with you, because Brigitte was making a point. This was supposed to be about 4 dead Americans. This was supposed to be about Benghazi. You're given the microphone and you start talking about, I guess, I sense the treatment of Muslims in America. Why was your focus there and not on what the forum was about?
The forum was talking about Islamic jihadists. So I asked a question about Islam. I didn't see how that was irrelevant. It was directly related to what the panel was about.
Brigitte?
The panel was discussing the attack on Benghazi, our 4 dead Americans, and what our government is doing or not doing about it to get to the bottom of the problem. The whole symposium was about Benghazi, and she took the limelight instead of standing up as an American, caring about how 4 Americans, our fellow Americans, are dead, asking something about what we can do to hold our government accountable. The whole panel was about accountability, yet she took the limelight asking a question that was completely not discussed, out of the blue. She might as well be asking about why are we wearing green today?
Yeah. Ms. Ahmed, let me ask you this question, because I've often brought up in this program that I make a distinction between radicalism and Islam, but I find that the voices of moderate Muslims are almost deafening at points, taking on what I would regard as the hijacking of a religion. You see radicalism all around. You see women's life under Sharia, where they're forced to cover themselves, where you need 4 male eyewitnesses for rape. In Saudi Arabia, they can't drive. You got the morality police. I don't hear a lot of criticism from so-called moderate Muslims. Why?
Well, I'm a Muslim American. I'm wearing the headscarf. Nobody's forcing me to wear it. I live in America. I could choose to wear whatever I want.
I didn't ask you that at all, but women under Sharia are forced to do it. They're not given the choice. I don't hear a lot of criticism about radicalism and the hijacking of a religion.
Well, I mean, I'm not being forced as a Muslim woman to wear the headscarf. There is nobody, even when I go back home. Actually, in fact, in Pakistan, I never covered over there. I started wearing it when I came to the States.
Okay, tell that to women in Saudi Arabia, or women in Iran, or women under other Sharia states. They are forced. Women are not allowed to drive. Women under the Taliban couldn't go to school or couldn't go to work.
I don't think anyone should be telling women what to wear. If a person wants to wear the headscarf or they don't want to wear it, it's their choice.
So will you speak out against Sharia as it's implemented?
I'm speaking out. I'm just defending my right to wear the headscarf.
I didn't ask you about your right to wear it. I'm asking about the women that are forced to wear it. You know, we talk a lot about women's rights in America and a war on women. That issue comes up every political cycle. Will you speak out against those that use your religion and force women to cover, force women to stay home and they can't drive, force women that they can't be seen in public without men they're not related to? What are you're not going to speak up for those women's rights?
Well, I think, every country has their own traditions, laws, and culture. And here in America, I don't think...
Do you think those customs are wrong in the name of religion, that you're forcing women and treating women that way?
There are right and wrong customs everywhere.
Is what I described to you wrong? It's a simple question. Is what I described to you wrong?
I wouldn't even feel comfortable going. If I was living in Afghanistan, I wouldn't feel comfortable going out by myself. I would want somebody around with me.
That doesn't answer my question. Do you think that women in some countries that need 4 male eyewitnesses, to prove rape, will you at least speak out against that?
Well, yeah, rape is horrible, of course.
So under Sharia law, that's wrong.
Sharia law requires to prove adultery, you need 4 witnesses, and that would have to be so public.
And women are stoned to death under Sharia? Homosexuals are stoned to death under Sharia?
Sean, a lot of bad things happen around the world, and people have been misusing the religion.
But this is happening in the name of your religion, which is my point. This is your religion, and I have every belief you're probably very moderate in your own personal views. But this is happening in the name of your religion.
And so
if as a Catholic it was happening in the name of my religion, like the sex scandal, I spoke out. I said it was intolerable. So will you speak out?
Of course, yeah.
Let me hear you speak out then.
Well, I'm speaking out. I'm against a lot of the, barbaric practices around the world. I think Islam has been misused by a lot of people.
If she is truly a moderate Muslim, she needs to stand up for women's rights. She needs to stand up for those who beat women, who kill women, who maim women, who genitally mutilate women. She needs to stand up and speak out about the kidnapping of the girls by Boko Haram that you are not speaking for. You are taking your place while you have access to the media, and you are here obviously because of your deception and lies and what you did at the Heritage Foundation, so you can point the light to the issue of the Islamic. And thank you so much for bringing that out. Use that opportunity to speak about where are the girls that were kidnapped by your own co-religionists.
Well, I'm telling you the truth from my side. I'm sure there are a lot of people say a lot of things.
You and the word truth need to be in the same sentence. Let's be very clear about this.
Well, I think you're misguided, and I think you're the ones who needs to hear the truth from Muslims.
Clear, and I don't mince words.
How many
and
Muslims
do you know? The bush, and I know my facts.
Right,
do you know it? Do you know any Muslims?
Yes, I do.
Here.
I was born and raised in the Middle East.
About you? You're Noor Saman.
I'm very familiar with your writing.
How many Muslim friends do you have here in the U.S.?
I do have friends here in the U.S. That's beside the point. That is beside the point. That's beside the point. As a patriotic American, I use the opportunity that I have to shine the light.
Patriotic American
I can protect my fellow American citizens because I am American citizens, and my loyalty is for this country. And anything happens to any American, I'm the first person to stand up.
I'm an American.
Them, fight for them. You are not. Your loyalty is somewhere else. It's about time we see more patriotism from the Muslim community and less terrorism.
Bridget, I'm an American, and I'd like you to defend me.
I defend people who are worth defending. I don't defend liars and deceivers. I defend patriots who love this country and are willing to put their lives on the line to protect it. You are not. Your loyalties are to defend a terrorist who wanted to blow up a Christmas tree lighting in Oregon and kill many Americans. Shame on you.
Bridget, every defense lawyer has to defend somebody, okay? I don't think you've studied criminal law too well.
You are an activist. You are far more than just a
because I am concerned about the national security situation.
Let's take the gloves off and speak the truth, Saba. This time, you're dealing with Brigitte Gabriel. You're not dealing with somebody timid that you can manipulate and talk over. Not this time, Saba. People like you need to be put in their place. This is America. We love our country and we will fight for our country.
Needs to be put in place.
Exactly like you and expose people exactly like you.
Wow, Brigitte, you just sound very, very angry.
No,
I think you need some reality check.
I'm not.
I do agree. I did. Ramadan's coming up, so please do visit a local mosque wherever you live. I hope you get to meet a few other Muslims besides me and learn some, meet some peaceful Muslims.
I have a lot of outstanding, wonderful Muslim friends.
Good. So go talk to them.
Much different than you.
Okay, well, but I'd love to meet you too. Let's meet up here. I think we need to talk to each other without screaming. And we're
not screaming. We are talking passionately.
Now you're calming down. But from the beginning, you were very, very loud, and I don't know what was going on. But now you're starting to calm down,
because
which is good.
I don't allow liars to speak over me because I put the truth out. I will not let you go unchallenged.
You are so mean. Did someone ever tell you?
Children, but terrorism and
you're
smiling. I debate you. You're a lawyer. Meanness has nothing to do with logic. We're having a logical, factual conversation. So let's leave the little play that you're trying to pull aside. I'm a businesswoman. I don't play like that.
I know. I can see you're a businesswoman and you're using your whatever twisted logic to make profits off of Muslims.
No, I'm not making profit.
I don't think that's fair. I think you need to stop it.
As a matter of fact, I'm here. I'm not getting paid a dime.
A lot of lives have been lost.
Bridget, there are liars like you trying to put the lies out.
Bridget, a lot of lives have been lost since 9/11 because of these fear tactics. We need to stop this. I'm so sick and tired of
because of people like you who are not standing up to the radicals and stopping them in their tracks. You're not standing up. You are defending a convicted terrorist. You socialize with them. Don't, Saba. Bridget, on national television. It's about time the Muslim community stands up, stop the lies, stop the political correctness,
need to
and start calling a spade a spade.
And that's why I want you to get your facts straight. I'm telling you exactly what
are very straight.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to leave it there. Thank you both for being with us. Appreciate it.
Whether you agree with Brigitte Gabriel or not, one thing is undeniable. This June 16, 2014 exchange touched a nerve that people are still arguing about more than a decade later. And looking at the world in 2026, many would argue these conversations have only become more intense, more controversial, and more relevant. Questions about extremism, radicalization, political correctness, free speech, integration, terrorism, and the role of moderate voices are now front and center across Europe, America, and the Middle East. Back in many people dismissed debates like this as fear-mongering. Today, a lot of those same issues dominate headlines almost every single day. I want to hear your honest thoughts. Did Brigitte Gabriel make a strong point, or do you think this conversation should have gone differently? Comment below. If you have a 401k or an IRA, please listen. Gold is at record highs. What many people don't know is this. You can move part of your retirement money legally and without tax penalties into physical gold you actually own. Alpha Omega Gold helps you do this through a gold IRA. Your gold is real. It is stored safely. It is in your name. Learn more at ao.gold/stand. Alpha Omega Gold is our sponsor, and they proudly stand with Israel.